What up, man? It's Cool Water, the digital dope man, coming to you live and direct on another episode of the Barroom Chats podcast. Barroom Chats podcast focuses on topics in the area of entertainment, politics, culture, business, and health. The Barroom Chats podcast was founded by me, Cool Water, the digital dope man, in an effort to have simple conversation about serious topics as if we were at the bar. Simple and plain as that. Today, I want to discuss or talk about the verdict that has came in on your boy R. Kelly. They found him guilty on all counts: sexual misconduct, racketeering, in an effort to have I think they termed it sexual empire or something to that effect. So I wanted to touch on that for a few minutes. And I had to go back to some stuff I said some time ago when I mentioned R. Kelly and the backlash of the Illuminati. And I said I did that about 2 years ago. Since then, somewhere in 2019, R. Kelly got arrested and has been in jail ever since. And for a brief moment, I thought he might get off based on the fact that there just wasn't a lot of real solid evidence, in my personal opinion, that really would convict a man. And when he went on Gayle King and he was pleading for his innocence, you could see that the brother wasn't really guilty on all counts. Let's just say that. Because nobody has that type of fear in their eyes when deep down inside they know they've done something. So I've wrote about this subject as far as R. Kelly and some of this trial. I've talked about it. And now it's putting the nail in the coffin. And this will be titled R. Kelly, the Death of a Black Rock Star. Here's one of the greatest R&B singers, songwriters of our time, possibly being up for 20 years in prison to life in prison. They say he got to do a mandatory sentence of 10, though. A mandatory sentence of 10 years. That's a long time. He already been in there too. And it don't look like ain't no Hail Mary pass is gonna come for him to get out of jail. But you have to go back and you have to really question, why now? Why did R. Kelly get put before the court of public opinion about something dealing with sexual misconduct when he went to trial on that the first time and got off? And it was sufficient evidence then, because there was a videotape of him, but they couldn't say it was him having sex with an underage girl, marrying Aaliyah. Why then? Why didn't he get convicted then? Well, in my personal opinion, he was still valuable, and he was at the height of his career to the record company. Jive Records, at that time, is what I believe he was signed to, still found value in someone who was selling millions and millions of records, and his songwriting prowess was just, bar none, the best in the game. Here's somebody, man, who's wrote for more artists, man, than you can possibly imagine. R. Kelly has wrote Michael Jackson, Celine Dion. He's done stuff for Prince, I believe. He's done stuff for Aaliyah. He's done stuff for some other R&B groups. He produced groups. I mean, the list goes on and on. And you think about it, R. Kelly was a hit maker and has always been a hit maker. You see what I'm saying? So why then? Why not then? What I mean, you know, what kept him out of jail back then? My personal opinion, he was needed and valuable to the industry because everybody knows, you know, if you in the game and you at the top of the game, it's going to be a lot of women that come across your path. And in his case, it was plenty. And he probably was fucking on some youngsters. We're not going to take that away from him. I know he knocked off a couple of heads. I was looking at Muhammad Ali last night, and they was talking about his entourage, which, you know, would bring him women, even though he was a married man. And he even said it. You know what I'm saying? I'm guilty, you know, of some things, you know, during the marriage, because the lady tried to ask him, you know, what was some of his faults. And he made a comment about it, but he didn't say it outright. And that's the nature of the game. But to be manipulative and to hog tie, rope, hold a gun to somebody's head, I don't personally believe in that. But then you have to also ask yourself, what's behind door number one? What's behind door number one? Why is it that there are certain behaviors that go on in the music industry, in the film, television, entertainment, sports, legal, political industries that involve sexual misconduct? And most of the time it revolves around ritualistic behavior. You see what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that I think the surface level community people of consumerism will never fully understand. You take Jeffrey Epstein with all the little wild shit that he was doing. He never made it to the jail. He pleaded the fifth and, you know, bought this person off, paid that person off. It wasn't until all the shit hit the fan that somehow or another they say he committed suicide. But that's to be determined because nobody's really ever seen the body. See? But all the little girls he was, you know, tipping and rubbing on and trying to get a quick nut, there was nothing and there was no one there to check the behavior. You see what I'm saying? So R. Kelly rose through the ranks, and as he rose through the ranks, I'm quite sure there were individuals who introduced him to certain behaviors. Now, you go back to his childhood, he said he was molested. And that plays a role in the behavior. But at the same time, once you reach a certain level of power, it's easy for you to just have. You see what I'm saying? But all of this comes with a price tag. And R. Kelly, in my personal opinion, may have gotten too big for his britches and his ego and arrogance to be able to touch any woman he wanted got in the way. In which case, we know that there was some dudes in the camp who probably brought him some chicks, brought him a couple of youngsters. You know what I mean? They was trying to get on, you know, just like the Jocelyn Savage chick. I mean, you can't tell me that her parents didn't know what time it was. I still believe her parents played a role in turning her over to Kelly with the hopes that she was going to bubble and blow up. You know what I'm saying? Bubble and blow up. Parents is just as responsible as the individuals who participated in helping him get the girls. So after R. Kelly gets convicted gets off on the first trial, which went down back in 2000 and what, 2, 3, 4, 5, somewhere in there. I believe that there was a reckoning in his life where he said, okay, man, some things I'm just not going to be able to do because I've risked my freedom in the process. And I do not believe that dude who's writing all these songs and has some level of intelligence said, I'm going to jump back in and get to humping on these little girls again. Which leads to the question of what's behind door number 2? Why would R. Kelly be brought before the court of public opinion and be deemed guilty and by the court of public opinion through surviving the R. Kelly TV series, which was produced by some black woman who brings up all these women who claim they had all these issues, but you never quite seen any police reports from days gone by. Ex-wife say a few things. They had a couple of disputes, but one minute it's this, the next minute that's my baby daddy. All of this, man, sounds like a contrived effort to destroy another rich black entertainer. And from what I understand, this only became an issue when he started to talk about his royalties and him wanting to be more accountable as a financial steward of his money because he couldn't literally read and write. He's functionally illiterate. So he said he walked into a Bank of America, and walking into a Bank of America, that was the first time he ever did that and asked about the money that was in his account. And as a result, him going to the record labels and talking about his royalties and wanting to get masters and all that, all of a sudden now Surviving R. Kelly comes out. See, that's what I'm saying. It's deeper than coochie. It's deeper than pussy. The Illuminati, or what we AKA will call the illuminated ones, or AKA called the gatekeepers, somebody in the camp, somebody in that atmosphere said, oh, okay, this nigga trying to make claim on this, that, and the third, we finna stick the dogs on him. Because you can't be that high up and not have stains on you. It's imperative, because that's how they pull your card. You gotta do some dirt in order to stay in position. So when you get out of line, they just pull your card. They got you on tape getting fucked in the ass. They got you on tape sucking some other nigga dick. They got you on tape doing some type of homo act. They got you, male or female. The minute you become conscious and you stop selling the death mantra, kill, 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 murder, 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 be hoe this, slut that, and begin to get conscious and want to delve into the real power of ownership, that's when the card gets pulled. Which is where R. Kelly was at, because I heard he only had a few more. He moved from there, I believe, to Sony after he left Jive, and he only had a few obligations with that, and then he was gonna start his own record company and move on in some other directions. And boom, here we have him, one of the greatest R&B singers of the 20th century, in jail and up for a life sentence on some pussy, as if dude raped, molested, maimed, and did all of this to these young girls, so much so that they never reported it, so much so that nobody has real documentation or police reports, so much so that the chicks that claimed he did something so dirty, they took the payout because they wanted to get paid. They went on and got married and living their life happily ever after. This is a game, and this is the death of the black rock star. This is the death of the black celebrity. This is the death of black wealth. We done lost now. We done lost several entertainers. DMX, Biz Markie really wasn't paid. Michael K. Williams, I don't know his net worth. Who else? Bill Cosby went in jail and manned up and was going to do his time like a man. He got out on the technicality, but he still papered up. But his reputation is tarnished. Then we have somebody like Gloria, a lawyer like Gloria Allred, always at the helm, trying to make a buck, trying to demoralize and do the feminist shit and put these women in position as if they've been so traumatized. But then you take somebody like Bill Cosby, and these women have, a lot of them recanted their statements and said they were lying. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is a game. And when you dealing with the super elite and you try to make a power move like Bill Cosby did to go out and buy NBC and set up a network, or R. Kelly, who want to become a steward of his own masters and control his own destiny and begin to reestablish himself as a boss. All of a sudden now he got all these issues with these women. DMX, who all of a sudden, tried to make some moves and said a few things against the illuminated ones, and all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? He getting pulled over, getting arrested. The game is real. This is not a fantasy. A lot of this shit is by design. That these people come up into these situations, because in order to keep a group of people in a box, you have to set traps for them to stay in that box. You have to set traps for them to stay in that box. And this is what I believe has happened to R. Kelly. Somebody set a trap for him. Now, he had a pussy problem. He liked young girls. But after you get your ass tapped once, like they say, mama say, don't put your hand on the stove no more. After you feel that burn, you know better. And I don't believe this man here, at 53 years of age, was still chasing children. Let's just be honest. He had two youngsters. They was mid to late 20s. You understand? He had been married to a woman that was of his own age. Because it's a lot of old cats that got, young chicks. They might, I got a partner that got them young. He keep a youngster. You know what I'm saying? Some people, that's just what they prefer. It ain't illegal to have a woman 20 years your junior. But at the end of the day, when R. Kelly did that interview with Gayle King and he beating on his chest, pleading for his life, that's the sign of somebody who's innocent. Because he knew that there was a great possibility all of what he worked for, all of what he been through his whole life could be diminished in a matter of minutes. Because if they found him guilty, there might not be no get back from that. And at the end of the day, there ain't no get back from that. Because now he has to do a minimum of 10. But the question becomes, does the judge look at him as a sexual predator and sentences this dude to life in prison? That's the real question. That's the real question. Because at the end of the day, R. Kelly may never see the light of day again. And it don't have nothing to do with the women. That's the decoy. That's the ploy. That's the mousetrap. That's the public scrutiny and public persona that was given. You know what I'm saying? That's the Me Too movement, motherfuckers that's out here screaming and hollering, mute R. Kelly because he done so much wrong all of a sudden because they rehashed old shit and made it new again. Russell Simmons, he was up getting ready to get caught in this mousetrap. He got his ass out the country. You see what I'm saying? You know, there was a period in time, and there's a period in time in everybody's life when you a youngster and you do dumb shit and you do things that may get you in trouble, or you do things that you may be embarrassed about. But then as you grow older, you double down and say, okay, I can't be doing that. And if I do something in this nature, it has to be in a private situation where I know that I'm not committing a crime. And you can't tell me R. Kelly is that stupid that he will go back and commit a crime for the second time when this dude is pop culture. He's pop culture. You understand what I'm saying? He's pop culture. The death, R. Kelly, and the death of the black rock star. His whole musical career now is null and void. Because it is. Bill Cosby's whole entertainment career, TV career, creations with stars like characters like Fat Albert and the Huxtables is null and void based off that one accusation and verdict of guilty that they put on this man. You understand? DMX, his whole career is whitewashed and right down the drain because they got him labeled as somebody who overdosed and did drugs. All of this stuff is not by accident. The Illuminati and those that are in power and control the music industry, control the film industry, control the entertainment, control the sports, they have a different agenda than what you have. Let's just keep it a buck. They have a different agenda. The goal is not to see black entertainers take their money, take their wealth to the grave. You got to be a scientist and a statistician to be able to take your money so it rolls over those hundreds of millions of dollars, makes it to the next generation, Because if you don't be that, you will be rest assured you will be taxed the fuck out of your money. Hence the reason now R. Kelly is deemed to be broke. He may have a couple thousand, 100,000 somewhere stashed, but all of that getting ate up by legal fees. Prince, money getting ate up by legal fees. Michael Jackson getting ate up by legal fees. Who owns the catalogs? Warner owns Michael Jackson's. Warner owns Prince's. Who owns Tupac catalog? Warner. Who owns R. Kelly's catalog? Sony. The majority of it. I don't think he got no ownership in that, but he may. I'm just throwing out names and whatnot. Who owns DMX? His fiance can't even tap into his estate because she ain't his wife. The bread goes back to the corporation. This is why I created and came up with the mantra, who killed the black entrepreneur? The African American entrepreneur's Holocaust. This is what it's about. It's about the destruction of black wealth. It's about the destruction of black entertainers, black businessmen, black politicians, people that went in and tried to make something out of this capitalistic society and ended up getting crushed in the process. It's real talk, man. This is real talk. This is real talk. You understand? It's important that you look at this shit upside down. Here is the death of a black rock star. R. Kelly is no more. No more. He's done forever. His music is not even rotating. Now, if he get convicted and they rotate and start playing his music again, then you'll know somebody else has retained the ownership of his catalog because their money won't be going to him. It won't be going to him. I just want y'all to think about what I said, man. And think about the destruction of black wealth with black celebrities and entertainers and sports stars. Who's killing our people off? Do you understand? Why is it that this money is not making it to the next generation? How come the mafia boys, they got to pass their wealth down? But the black mafia boys, most of their wealth didn't make it to the second and third generation. Where's the game going? This is something to think about, man. R. Kelly, the death of a black rock star. Check me out at ishiphopdead.com. Look for me at thedigitaldopeman.com. Share this information, subscribe, let's talk and build, man, because it's a real game out here. And somebody ain't playing fair. They playing to kill. Peace and stay blessed. Holla.